Very warm welcome to another session of Conversation Corner. Today I am very pleased to introduce Mr. Pranjal Doshi. He's a graduate from Hidayatullah National Law University, Raipur. Post his graduation, he went to University of Cambridge to pursue a postgraduate specialization in corporate law. Um, he has started his own venture called LLM Wizards, which helps students get into foreign universities and prestigious colleges. He has adjudged various national and international moot court competitions and is currently an associate with Platinum Partners. While I'm certain that I've missed some of the other achievement of yours, Pranjal, I'm hoping that through this conversation, when we dive into it, we're going to cover all aspects of your professional career. So firstly, thank you so much for coming on board and agreeing to do this with us.
Thanks a lot, Gariman, and thank you so much for the generous introduction. You made me sound like a superstar, and clearly there's so much ground needs to be
Okay.
covered. Thank you so much.
Okay. So without any further delay, I will straight come to the question. So Pranjal, my first question to you is, how was your experience at Cambridge University? And more so, I want to understand, since you've yourself been a part of the Indian education system, you've done your high schooling and you've done your bachelor's from an Indian university. What do you think is the real difference in the teaching pedagogy? What were the hurdles that you faced while you went there?
Yeah, personally, my experience at Cambridge was fantastic. I had an amazing time. The way I always explain, the way I always describe my Cambridge experience is my time at Cambridge was in form of a stressful vacation. Stressful because it's Cambridge and it's demanding, it's exacting, and vacation because it's in Europe. Well, I had a great time. The people were amazing. I made great friends. But I mean, in terms of teaching, it's extremely different. The way the people teach over there, the way the pedagogic techniques run, the methodology in which the faculty teach. I think it's very different. And classroom conversation and classroom discussion is what makes the entire LM experience interesting and rather different from the way we are being taught in an Indian law school or in an Indian university for that matter. Apart from that, research is being given high weightage, and the way you research and the way you are expected to research, the way you are expected to draft your answers, probably get into maybe, write your answers. So education and academics is taken very, very seriously. Every answer that you write in your examination paper, you receive an individual personalized feedback wherein they tell you that what were the major points that impressed the examiner and what were the major points that were missing from your answer sheet. And therefore, why do you deserve the score that you have been granted? So I think in terms of how they take the education and how they take the whole examination is what makes it different from their Indian counterparts. And that is why it becomes sort of a very prestigious university to be part of. But having said that, at the same time, Indian universities are doing really well and we are upcoming. And I think even in terms of our education and even in terms of our teaching techniques, we are sort of adopting to the Western teaching methods. And I think now we can't really say that we are not at par with where they stand, even though a lot of ground needs to be covered. But I think we are still slowly progressing towards the better path.
Right, right. So my next question to you is with respect to the LLM application procedure. So, more often, usually it's observed that when a student decides to take on his application and pursue a master's degree, there is a lack of guidance and mentorship that's available. So what were the primary issues that you faced while you were filling out your applications? How did you cope up with them? And how does LLM Wizard helps a student to cope up with all of these issues?
Great. So talking about my own personal experience, I think I started pretty late. I think when I realized that I actually wanted to do an LLM, it was already October or November, and I was not very sure if I really wanted to do an LLM or not because I was exploring other paths like MBAs or MIMs, of course, abroad, but I was exploring those career options that time. But then I was also simultaneously applying to the law schools as well. I did not, I'm going to be frank, I did not really have anybody who I could reach out to, who I could speak to, who I could ask as to how to approach the statement of purpose, which happens to be the most important document. Which format do I use for CVs? What are the important things that I need to highlight in the CVs? And then once I finally went through the entire process and learned from my own mistakes and realized that, okay, these are the things that the universities actually look into. And I realized that maybe nobody should feel alone, nobody should feel that they can't really go ahead with the process because it's daunting because they don't know how to approach it. That's where LLM results come into picture. We sort of provide an end-to-end service to everybody who is in need of those services, essentially right from how to shortlist the university of their choices. Then we tell them, okay, this is the format that you need to follow for your CV. Apart from that, we obviously help them with their review of statement of focus. We share guidance notes for individual documents so that it's easier for them to sort of understand the flow of the document, the structure of the document. That's the kind of service we honestly provide at LLM with those.
Right. So my next question to you is, how has your Cambridge University experience really helped you as a corporate lawyer working in an Indian law firm? So how has your experience been, and do you think it has given you an edge over others?
So I'm not sure how to answer the second limb of the question. I don't think I'm in a position to sort of address that has it given me an edge over others. But I would certainly like to believe that it has definitely helped me in my career progression. So coming back to India was not originally the plan. I was due to working in either a magic circle firm based in London or would have been working in New York. So that was the original part of the plan. And then I decided to come back to India. But since I was not really planning about working in an Indian legal system, about being part of the Indian jurisdiction, it didn't really apply to a lot of places initially. Then I was not very sure as to what practice area would I like to specialize in, considering the fact that while I was going to work in London or New York for that matter, it would have been a straightforward training contract process wherein they would make me experience different practice areas for like 2 years. And then I would have chosen the field as to what I really liked. But since I did not really know as to how the kind of subject that I liked, especially after studying variety of different corporate law modules at Cambridge, it was just an experiment, and I joined this Indian law firm called as Khaitan and Company in the banking and finance practice. But I had studied some portion of a financing deal back at Cambridge. I think it's really helped me in understanding how the whole financing works, be it yeah, so essentially that, and then I finally have decided to make a switch, and now will be working with platinum partners. I mean, I'm already working with platinum partners in the general corporate practice. So over there, I think my experience of M&A, especially the modules that I had opted for M&A, will really help me, and it is coming into use. Apart from that, the confidence that a foreign degree, especially when you come from a good university, the confidence that you gain sort of makes you feel that you really know your stuff, even though it might not be true in all the cases, but it at least makes you feel that you got this, and be what may, if you have to figure it out, you will probably figure it out. I'm not saying that this confidence will probably be lacking if you come from an Indian law school or do not have a flashy degree to talk about. But I think this particular degree will give you the required confidence, if at all you lack in the first place, to deal with the complexities that come while working in an Indian legal system, especially when we talk about the law firm culture.
Right, definitely. And that brings me to my last question. But I have two aspects to that question. You know, since you are in corporate law and you've seen the LLM aspect of it, so I want to understand from you, since you know the pandemic is out there, and how do you think the people, the law students who are graduating this year, what is the right, how should they utilize their time? The people who want to pursue a corporate law career, and the students who are thinking of applying to broad universities. To both these aspects, what is the advice and the giveaway that you want to give to the students?
Great. So I think we have a couple of clients this year, and the clients have actually increased. So it's a quantum, let's say, we have seen the increase by 15% in the number of clients, which essentially suggests that the interest of students who want to do their master's abroad has remained untouched, and if anything, has only gone up. And I don't think that the pandemic will have a substantial impact on the career of the students who maybe want to do their masters either on from 2021, or who want to start working either probably from the beginning of 2021. So right now, I would confess and I would concur to the opinion that the pandemic has actually crushed and crippled the economy, but the market will soon pick up. I see law firms have started hiring, even fresh graduates hiring have resumed. few of the law firms have preponed the joining dates of their fresh graduates, which means that there is sufficient amount of work in the industry. So the only advice to everybody who is in that situation, especially final year students, you guys need to hang yourself up there and just portray yourself that you are there and market yourself, and maybe sort of connect to the law firms, connect to HRs, write to partners, see where it goes. But to be honest, the only key is to keep applying to the law firms, use LinkedIn to your benefit, see what's happening, see which of the law firms have vacancies for people who have had 1 year of experience, 2 years of experience. That sort of give you an idea as to where the trend is right now and which law firms have vacancies, even if it's not applicable to you in particular. That is A. Now, coming back to what was the second half of the question? I'm sorry, I forgot.
The question was primarily what advice will you give to the LLM students and to the students who want a corporate career? So, yeah.
Great. So the advice now, coming back to the advisory part, the problem that most of the students have in their application is they do not really tailor make their cover letter or tailor make their application, which could suit the specific requirement of a law firm. So for example, talking about a specific or a niche law firm like Platinum, if somebody wants to work with Platinum, or if somebody wants to intern with Platinum, it would always be a good idea to tailor make the application in the sense that you talk about what Platinum has done, maybe list down a few of their recent deals that highlight the specific experience that aligns with the aspirations of the firm. Let's say if you are a dispute resolution lawyer and then you apply to Platinum, then the chances are you might not really gain a slot for internship because that's not the kind of work we do as of yet. And at the same time, if you apply for a commercial position, if you have done transactional law throughout your law school, and then you apply to a dispute resolution law firm or a dispute resolution team of a law firm, then the chances of you securing that internship sort of gets reduced. So it's always a good idea to sort of research the firm, see what the firm does, see what the firm is good at. And then you show in your application, in your cover letter, that these are the things that you are good at and how it correctly aligns with what the firm does. And then again, after that, once you have floated your application, the second most important thing to do is follow up. A lot of students, let's say, on this day, you send 100 applications and then you completely forgot about it, thinking that you will get a response from these law firms. But this is not how it works. The law firms are extremely busy. HRs are extremely cautious. So the key is to constantly follow up, trail that particular email, says, I just wanted to understand if there's any development in my decision-making timeline. And then maybe the follow-up schedule could be somewhere, let's say if you apply on 1st of September, then you follow up on 15th of September, then you subsequently follow up on 21st September. So you'll have to sort of let them know that you're really committed to this internship or for this job position and are hoping to hear something in respect to your application. That is with respect to the people who are actually interested in a corporate law career. About LLM applications, guys, LLM application has been opened and almost all universities have started accepting applications. So if anybody is unsure, if anybody is wondering if they should apply, this would be a good time to start working on an application. If you're not sure if you would want to directly go for your master's, you always have an option of deferring your admission process. But once you start working, you might not be in a position to actually apply. So if you think that you have the time and if you have the time frame, or if you think that you can actually submit application to 5 to 6 universities, maybe now would be a good time to do your research, see what specialization would you like to do, and then submit your application.
Yes. So thank you so much for those valuable tips. And I'm very certain that everybody who listens out to this conversation is really going to benefit from all the tips that you've given us. Thank you so much, Pranjal, for agreeing to come on board and doing this for Legal Corner.
Thank you so much, Girma. Thank you for the invite. I'm really happy to be here. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. And please follow Legal Corner for more such updates.